It's ironic that Disney made a Kim Possible movie, seeing as, well, the show actually made its own episode about that exact thing. In the episode, Senor Senior Jr., the antagonist of the episode, says this.
I have just read the most disturbing news. They are making a Kim Possible movie.
Which is exactly how I felt when this was announced. Hey guys, it's Vines, and for real though, it's quite interesting to see Disney go back on their own teachings with this one idea. It's extremely apparent to me now the innocence that the Kim Possible writers had all the way back when they wrote this episode. They weren't just commentating on the possibility, but they were mocking it, as if to say, there's no way we would stoop so low as to let a corporation completely ruin our creation just to earn a few bucks and keep the kids watching. It's predetermined genius that has obviously been overlooked, and now we look at it in pity, in sympathy, wondering, what happened? Why did this become the very thing it made fun of? Well, first, let's take a look at how. Disney's Kim Possible, Season 3, Episode 14. It starts with our main protagonist duo running into a movie director while out on an apparently fad mission. He sees them and gets the idea to make a movie based off of the two, to their surprise and excitement. The director tells them that they'll be replaced by hot, cool actors who will be living with them for a week to pick up on their personalities. And indeed, such an event occurs. As Ron and Kim begin to hang out with their actor counterparts, cartoonish hijinks ensue, but so do the gradual feelings of disapproval of their doubles. To Ron's continual annoyance, his actor is completely unable to emulate his character at all through the entire time of his stay. Kim is at first enthusiastic about the fact that her actress is able to copy her almost perfectly, but eventually, the actress begins to get too perfect, and even outshines Kim's personality, leaving our Kim jealous and unsure if she should be portrayed by this actress as far more perfect than she herself is. Shooting begins, and both actors continue to portray their originals as they have been. But the set is ambushed by the antagonist. In a panic, the director calls on the actors to help with the situation, but they are completely unable to do so because both of them could never really be Kim and Ron. The real deals show up to save everyone and are successful in doing so with some help from their actors. While the originals finally start to approve of the people playing them, the director changes his mind about the movie and decides to move on to something else. So, alright. Sounds cool, but you're thinking, how could this possibly commentate on the film industry's faults? A kid's cartoon episode about the heroes getting to hang out with famous actors and get into all sorts of shenanigans couldn't really mock the future, could it? You'd be surprised. Let me set the scene. You've written for a cartoon that has received tons of praise from the public, kids and adults alike. You're very proud of it still. It's been over for a few years, but it's still being talked about. One day, you find out that the big boy company who streamed it has decided to make a live-action, non-theatrical movie with completely different minds and actors behind the project. Time goes by, and eventually, you're invited to the premiere. You're excited to see your characters brought to life on the screen in front of you, in the bodies of real human beings. The movie starts, and you wait for a rush of pride to see what you have contributed toward. And you wait. But the feeling never comes. As you exit the premiere with the others and congratulate them on their creation, realization hits you. The reason you never felt pride or satisfaction while you were watching the movie was because the people you saw on the screen, even though they tried hard to be, were not your characters, and they could never possibly be. Only the characters you wrote, who your actors voiced and your animators drew, could possibly be the real thing. Your real characters. The core of what makes the movie unappealing is one simple thing: decharacterization. Though the Kim Possible movie had several other bad occurrences, as joked about in the original episode we are looking at, such as bad acting, terrible computer graphics, only mediocre jokes, an unoriginal story, and an excruciatingly plain DeviantArt OC, it all comes down to this. If not the writers, then the fans of the original cartoon certainly could not interpret the characters as they were. If you think back to the original episode, you can make connections. If slightly flipped, Kim's character feels like a total bomb on the original. A disaster of a whiny little kid who's sad that someone stole her fame, which is supposedly the main internal struggle of the movie, but it somehow never gets solved. Instead of dealing with the real opposer to fame and overcoming it, it's just found out that she's a robot who's been made to outshine her, so it doesn't even really matter that it happened in the first place. And don't get me started on Kim's whole attitude toward the situation. It's a big jumble of things that I don't have time to get off track of for a while. But let me at least mention that there were episodes of the cartoon where it occurred that a new hero did start stealing Kim's fame and job, and those episodes handled it a lot better. Live action Ron can never be our original boy as well, no matter how on point he's trying to be. It proves that through a live action lens and a different team of writers, characters can never be who they truly were in the original. Though he was the singular source of enjoyment that allowed me not to call this movie complete garbage, it's still not cartoon Ron, because no matter what, if you use a different style and a different cast, you can't translate an original cartoon character truly into live action. It's just like in Kim Possible's episode, the movie made completely decharacterizes its personalities. I wish I could say it was just Kim Possible that this happened to, but as I'm sure you all know, Disney loves to push out its live-action spin-offs and remakes. Through this plethora of examples, we can see that, in fact, it's not just specifically characters that you can decharacterize. You can decharacterize the visual portrayal of a film, whether it be through its animation or setting, and you can also do so to a movie or cartoon's original vibe, often taking away the charm of its colorful, family-friendly adventure and turning it into a much more bleak story. So we all can laugh at the dismembered head of a middle schooler's creation and call a movie bad, but we must remember what makes many of these spin-offs, remakes, and the like truly disappointing at their core: the impossible mimicry of the source's original character. Not just their characters, but their entire character. And you'd think, even if Disney weren't aware of all this criticism, they'd at least be a little aware by making Rufus CGI when this Kim Possible episode itself is mockingly called "And the Mole Rat Will Be CGI." If that isn't blatant hypocrisy, I don't know what is. Thank you so much for watching this admittedly late little analysis on Disney's most recent mistake. I'm sure by now you all know that channel supporty things you can do, but a reminder always helps, I guess. So to refresh you, like or dislike the video, comment your thoughts, and most importantly, subscribe if you really want to see me make these videos faster and at higher quality. I love having a conversation below with everyone, especially right now since I don't usually have many comments to respond to. Also, I hope you noticed these new sprites and the overall new visual personality of the channel. I really like her, and I think I'll be using this for most things to come for a very long time. Thanks again, and see y'all next video. Goodbye.